Kia ora whānau. If you could see the little setup that I've got there for my camera and my tripod, which keeps on kind of sinking lower and lower, you would have a little giggle. Hey, look, another day of lockdown, another dinner to prepare. Not quite sure whether my kids are going to like this. My son likes the concept of it, and my daughter's been a little bit fussy. However, I just want to make this because I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. But anyway, before I start, you want to hear something really, really funny? Well, actually, I suppose you want to find out what we're making tonight. This is another one of Jamie Oliver's recipes. So I love him. I think he's fantastic. I love him because he's never changed. He's the same person, the same personality. Now he just has his kids there. I really enjoy watching him cook. He's great, he's fast, he's a natural, and it's just fun. So, as I've been binge watching him on television, this is the easy salmon en croute. So this recipe I watched yesterday and I thought, I think I'm going to make this for dinner. So there we are. So I'm just trying to strip off the onion skins. So the salmon was in my freezer and it's been there for ages. And so I pulled it out, I defrosted it. I actually also took off the skin, because the skin's great if it's crispy, but in this recipe it's not going to be crispy. So I thought, well, let's just take it off. I've got an onion here, I've got some lemons, and I've got some garlic. Now this will make you laugh. I went into my freezer to get some silver beet. Now in the recipe that Jamie has, he uses spinach, but I am not going anywhere and I'm only using the ingredients that I actually have at hand and around the house. Well, in the freezer and on the pantry. So I open up my freezer and I reach and I pull out this bag and I'm thinking, is that a bag of weed? Have I got a bag of weed in my freezer? For one moment there I thought, oh, there's a bag of weed. But it's not, it is my silver beet. So I grew that silver beet in my garden. I blanched it, chopped it up, and I put it in the freezer. And now I've pulled it out now to use in this recipe. But I thought that was a bit of a giggle because at one moment I thought, have I got weed? Have I got weed in my freezer? And then I'm thinking, no, Lynda, you don't. So what we're going to do first is that we're going to prepare the silver beet. So we're going to use, it says in the recipe, 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just using the garlic that I've got left. My daughter used it before, and we're down. We only have a couple of. We've only got a couple of cloves left. So I've got 1 onion, and then I'm going to use the silver beet. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to saute it. The great thing I have also learned is I've learned how to edit my videos. So you're not going to have like my chatting away to try and to fill in dead air. I'm going to edit my videos so they're short and succinct and you're getting exactly what you need to make this meal. I've also preheated my oven to 210. Let's put this here. I'm kind of hoping that I'm not sure how finely I cut this, but when I defrosted it, I also gave it a really good squeeze to get out as much liquid as I possibly could. So we've got that here. And I'm just going to get my cute little camp stove top and we're going to start cooking. So what we're going to do first is we're going to prepare, this is actually going to be the base of our salmon. So we're going to have pastry, then we're going to have silver beet and onions and garlic, salt and pepper. Then we're going to have, on top of that, we are going to have our salmon. and then other goodies as well on top of that. Just going to put a dollop of oil in here. So this is just a standard, I've had this frying pan for absolute years. I've also got a wok here that I actually bought with my auntie when I was still a teenager. So you can imagine how old that is. So with this, we're going to saute the onions and the garlic, and then we are going to add the silver beet and salt and pepper, and that will be our flavour bake. Do you know, I know that lockdown can be a really a real challenge for a lot of people, and I'm an extrovert, so I am in the category of this is challenging for me. However, we've been here before. We were doing this last year, and last year I was in complete and utter basket case because you just didn't know what was going to happen. Now we know what to do. We've all got a job. We need to break the cycle of infection, and the only way we can do that is keep ourselves isolated from other people. If you're not feeling great, get yourself tested. And if you haven't already, get yourself vaccinated. Book in for your vaccination. Mine is next Wednesday. So I'm super excited for that, and I'm taking my 2 children with me. So as you can see, this is nicely sauteing. Now I think I'm going to check Jamie's recipe because I'm pretty sure he had other fancy ingredients that he had in there, and I think he had the zest of a lemon, which is great. And I've got one of those really cool little lemon zesty grater things, and I can't find it. I'm assuming someone has put it somewhere where I don't know where it is. So let's check with Jamie Oliver's recipe. So we've preheated our oven, and it had 220. We've peeled and chopped the onions and put in a large non-stick pan. We've done that on a medium heat with 1 tablespoon of olive oil. We've done that. Peel, finely slice and add garlic. Done that. Finely grate in lemon zest. Then cook for 10 minutes. Okay, well I haven't got my fancy lemon zester, but I've got the next best thing. This is older than my children. My daughter has said, but Mum, that you've lost the top of that. Why don't you buy another one? I'm thinking, why do I don't need to buy another one? I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't been doing any exercise. Well, I did some exercise, but not a lot over the last couple of days. I haven't done anything. I have been looking after myself. I'm getting, I can really smell the zestiness of that lemon. It's gorgeous. So I've made sure that I've really looked after myself. Another thing that I've actually haven't done this week, I've decided I haven't had a drink. I'm going to have we've got virtual drinks on Friday, and I'll do that. Today is Tuesday. Now let's put in some salt and pepper. It does smell very nice, people, I have to say. I'm hoping that my daughter is going to like this. I can't remember whether she likes salmon, but my son is really looking forward to this meal. And I'm going to have this with some potatoes. I'm going to par cook them, then I'm going to finish them off in a frying pan. And I think I might make a salad. It just depends on how many vegetables I've got left in the fridge. Right, so you know what? I think we're okay here. So there we go, that's your silver beet and your garlic and your lemon zest and your onion. Meat, pastry sheets. So what I've done here is I've used 1 pastry sheet and a half. So what the recipe calls for you to do is now you lay this on your pastry sheet. Now I'm pretty sure somewhere in Jamie's recipe he says that you're going to leave this to cool. As you can see, I'm not. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there, and you want a bit of space, you want a margin because you're going to be flipping over the pastry, so we do want a little margin. But also what we want to do is we want to keep it reasonably with the same kind of thickness right the way through. So in the recipe it says this takes about 45 minutes. And I know lots of people don't like to spend a lot of time cooking and, you know, all of those things that goes with having to cook. But you know what? What else are you doing, guys? So look at that. So we've got that there. Now, we are going to, so I took the skin off our salmon. There's 3 portions here, and I've got some space between the portions. I'm going to do a little bit of seasoning on here. So there's a bit of salt and pepper. I'm a bit of an under seasoner, so I'm just being really aware, and I'm kind of self-monitoring my seasoning. I'm a bit bad with that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to flip this, and then I'm going to flip this, and then I'm going to flip this, and then I'm going to flip this. What we're going to do is we're going to use an egg wash. So I've got 2 eggs here, and you'll probably be sitting there thinking, actually that's a lot of eggs, Lynda. That's a lot of eggs as an egg wash. And I would agree with you there, but there is a method. There is a method to my madness, people. So the first step for this is that we cover the pastry with our egg wash. Imagine this is going to have lemon with it. I've got sour cream dressing. Beautiful. So we're covering this all in egg. This is now going to go into the preheated oven for 15 minutes, and as per Jamie Oliver's instructions, you put it on the absolute bottom of your oven because you want its bottom to be nice and crispy and cooked. So we're going to do that. Then I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you what the next stage looks like. I also have to be really careful because I've got a gas oven, and right at the bottom I've also got the paper in there. I don't want it to catch on fire, and it has done a couple of times. Okie dokie, we're back, and believe it or not, I did actually do all the dishes, but I've got a little bonus here. I promised my children that I would make a dessert tonight, and I promised them that I would make a chocolate self-saucing pudding. So I have got the easiest self-saucing pudding recipe, and I will be making that shortly after this. And if you would like to learn how to make the pudding, I'll put it up as a separate little video. Right, now we need to get the salmon en croute out of the oven, and this is step 2. So this is what we're going to do with step 2. I'm just going to get rid of this. Step 2, we're going to take the rest of this egg, and we're actually going to put in pesto. So the recipe asks for 2 tablespoons of pesto, and I thought, great, well, this is pesto chunky dip, it isn't the pesto, and I'm just going to use what is actually left in there instead of measuring it out, so it'll be quite good. Hey, I've just noticed I've taken off my cardigan. It's getting rather hot in here. So we're going to, so that's all in there. So this is a great way as well. So I'm kind of using up everything, and we're going to mix that up. Now I'm going to be honest, I thought it would look a little bit browner than that, but anyway, doesn't matter. It's going in for another 15 minutes. So what we do now is we just put this in, all the little, sounds terrible, but crevices of the salmon, and then we're going to put it over the salmon. So it's going to make like a bit of a quiche. I suppose that's a good way of it kind of describing what's going to happen. So it's kind of oozing out everywhere, but I'm okay with that. And now we're going to put this back in the oven for a further 15 minutes, and by then it should be yummy and pastry cookedy brown and just gorgeous. They've gone into the oven, and I'm going to have a short pause, and then I'm going to start making chocolate self-saucing pudding. If you would like to make chocolate self-saucing pudding for you and your family during lockdown, this is easy. My son came down to see me and he's going, Mum, when's dinner? And I said, oh, probably about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. And he was like, oh. He goes, have we got any apples left? And I said, well, you've just eaten all the apples. Oh. So when's dinner going to be ready? And I said, oh, about half an hour. Anyway, so I've got the potatoes on, so we're going to have potatoes. I'm boiling them, and then I'm just going to quickly saute them in some oil. It'd be really lovely. I've got our salmon. I'm going to pull it out of the oven now, and you can have a look at it. Here we go. Salmon en croute. Now this is one of Jamie Oliver's recipes. I can put the recipe or the link to the recipe in the comments box for people that are on YouTube, and for people that are on Facebook, you can just go and have a look and Google Jamie Oliver's recipe. Now isn't that absolutely fantastic? That actually exceeds my expectations. I love it. But this is great. So thank you so much for spending some time with me while I make my children our lockdown dinners. I know that it's a really difficult time for a lot of people. It's quite stressful, especially people that have been put into self-isolation, people that have got COVID-19, just people who can't go to work, you know, people who have lost their income streams. It's really, really stressful, and it's really, really hard. So all I'm going to say is, you know, just hang in there, team of 5 million. Awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye.